everybody, and welcome back to episode 5 now of The Jungle.
5.
I mean,
already.
Not only am I here with a co-host, but he's also our executive producer, Ransom Souls. How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for the round of applause. I'm excited to have other Nolan, so we'll have Nolan Squared on the podcast.
Yeah, so
that's fun.
Talk about like an inception on the podcast.
All right, so Nolan Payne, he is from Saratoga, New York. He moved here after 8th grade. He came from Jupiter High School, so he is a new student at King's Academy this year. So we are excited to have him on the podcast.
Everybody, welcome on other Nolan.
Nolan Payne. Yeah, great to have you on.
So take us through, obviously we're doing good right now. We got a 2-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how are you feeling personally right now?
I feel good. I think we dealt with some adversity in that first week, and now we're trying to build off it. I mean, we got two good wins last week. I mean, both by 10 runs, mercy. So I think we're hitting our stride at a good time.
Most definitely. So how have you been feeling personally about the season? How have you been feeling about your performance? Like, not as much the team side, but personally, how have you been feeling?
I feel good. I think early I was getting too much in my head a little bit and not just playing the game, and now I think it's more about the team and not me, and now that'll show better results for me. So I think I'm doing pretty good.
So it's kind of, most people come to Kings at the start of the year, but you came into the second semester. So talk about how it's like this untraditional transition has kind of been for you. Like, has it been pretty smooth? I've made friends a lot, and how's it helped you in baseball as well?
Yeah, no, it was definitely smooth. But it was my decision to come to Kings and play for Coach Salty. That was not my parents' decision. That was a choice I made, and I'm really happy with the decision. I met a lot of cool people here. I'm obviously thankful for my time at Jupiter, but I'm happy to be here now, and it was a nice transition.
So, I mean, if you're comfortable, take us through that thought process and that transition of why maybe you left Jupiter to come King. So, what prompted that that decision? It's a big decision. Junior spring, big spring time, big season for recruiting, for performance.
Yeah, exactly.
So take us through your thought process and why you changed schools in the middle of the year.
Yeah, and I think recruiting is the biggest reason. You can't get recruited if you're not on the field.
Exactly.
And Jupiter got a lot of transfers, a lot of seniors on that team, and I just thought Kings would be a better fit for me to get on the field and just get video for these schools that I'm talking to that they need to see me play, and I thought Kings would be a good fit. Chase Seppo, he was a large part of getting me here. Miss Seppo, they said nothing but good things about the program, Coach Salty, and I love it. It's a great school.
So talking about Coach Salty, World Series champ, MLB vet. Take us to how has that been playing for him? Playing for such a a high name and a big program as he's been building up here.
Yeah, I love Coach Salty. He's a good dude. He knows baseball. He played the game at the highest level, so I think it's good to take advice from somebody who played at such a high level. You can always go to him when you have questions because he's been through it. So I feel like you can't have a better high school coach or a coach in general than Coach Salty.
Exactly.
All right, so we've talked about where baseball has taken you currently. So in your past, and where do you hope it to take you? Where has it taken you before? Where would you kind of highlight that you've been and people you've met, experiences you've kind of been through, and where do you hope baseball takes you?
Yeah, baseball has taken me some pretty cool places. I've traveled across the U.S. for it, and I've met some pretty cool people. Coming from New York, the baseball obviously isn't as good as it is here. And when I was in 8th grade, I told my parents that I wanted to be here to play against the best competition. And what I hope it takes me to be is college. I want to play in college. I want to play Division I. That's always been the goal. And I know if I keep working hard, that it can happen.
Yeah. Northern boys taking over.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, New York. So how much better is Florida than the northern states?
Night and day.
It's so much better.
Night and day. They got some good athletes in New York, but you can't get on a baseball field 12 months out of the year like you can here. So it's definitely just a lot of more hard work that takes in here.
All right, so we got a 2-game winning streak right now. We got a big tournament down at Westminster coming up. So to take us through like a day in the life, something that you would do to mentally prepare yourself for like a big game. Like we got one on Tuesday. You know, I heard her say some big righties. Probably gonna be throwing some gas. Like how are you? I mean, I know how I'm gonna prepare myself, but how are you gonna mentally prepare yourself for that big game?
This is what we've been waiting for.
I'll probably listen to some music before on the bus ride.
Who's your go-to?
You know, Lil Baby, Drake,
Oh.
rap, and then I mean it depends on the mood. Maybe some country to like calm me down a little bit, get me in the right mood.
Like Katy Perry or like some Shakira for you?
That's just you.
No, I think that's just Nolan.
Okay.
But
Alright.
no, I mean I like to pray before games. And also, I mean I like to talk like to teammates.
Oh, we know.
I don't like to stay quiet. You know, I want to stay like in the moment, energized, and you know, just having a good time.
That's ironic coming from you. Saying that to me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right, so talk about, like you said, there's a lot more hard work down here in South Florida. You are tied for leading your team with 2 doubles. So talk about what that means to you and how that's kind of played out so far.
It's still early, but you know, those 2 doubles I mean, it feels good. I've never really been a power hitter, and now I finally like adding some weight and getting to the stride of power. And I mean, I hope it can take me a long way. I hope I keep it going. I mean, I'm on a good trajectory with 2 to start the year so far. So, I mean, I hope it stays up. And this guy's starting to come around, swing the bat. Big game from him last week. I mean, Dalton Needle, 3 for 3 on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some big pieces here that are stepping up. And I think the bats are getting hot at the right time.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Dalton. I mean, Dalton has been absolutely like killing the ball lately. I mean, we had a couple slow starts. Like first 2 games for me were a little rough. I'm starting I had a little bounce back games last couple games.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
But talk about Dalton's been hot from the beginning. I mean, let's talk about like what he's meant to the team so far in performance.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton's a hitter. I mean, there's not really much to say
Well,
besides that. Yeah, he
not an athlete by any means.
No, he's not an athlete, but he wakes up and he hits. I mean, that's all he knows how to do. I mean, he's got a smooth lefty swing. So does this guy right here. And yeah, Dalton's just a good leader. He plays good defense, but I mean, he's really known for his hitting, and it's showing so far.
I mean, he's like a player comp. I was thinking for him, like somebody that like if they actually played baseball, like they kind of look like. I mean, Joe Daly. I mean,
Yeah.
they're both like 6'2".
He absolutely can swing the
athletic.
heck out of the ball, and he doesn't even play.
I mean, yeah. So that's why, like, how do you think a guy like Joe Daly would like transfer on? Like, how do you think his skill and athleticism on the basketball and football, the basketball court and the football field, how do you think that would transfer to a baseball diamond?
I think Joe would be a great athlete. You know, I've heard nothing but good things from him on the football field. You know, I've never seen him play, being new here at Kings, but you know, I hear he can sling it, man. And that arm, I feel like it could take him somewhere on the mound.
Oh yeah, I mean, easily. I guarantee he could probably throw at least like 84.
At least 84.
Yeah,
84.
we could use it.
Yeah,
Not,
from the left side.
And I feel like just his like stellar defense in basketball and just
he's a dog.
overall athleticism. And I think I heard rumors of him putting on like 26 pounds of muscle in the offseason last year.
And Coach Evans.
Yeah.
He's another
That's
Jungle Talk alum, Coach Evans.
That alone could take him pretty far in baseball. So I feel like he could be a stud if he really.
I agree.
focused on it. Yeah.
I agree.
So, you know, obviously, like I said, we got 2-game win streak. We're 3-2, just cracked over that 500 mark. So, you know, obviously, we want to stay in the moment, right? We don't want to get too far ahead, but you know, it's always fun to look ahead. You know, districts, you know, regionals, making a push.
That's what really matters.
Yeah, it's
Right.
all about
That's
making
what
a
really
push.
matters.
So, you know, we have a pretty tough district. We got a Brigham Benjamin team and a pretty good Newman team. And so, how is it going to be like? How do you feel us stacking up against them this year in districts?
I feel good. You know, I feel good against anybody we play. I think we're prepared, just if not better than anybody we play. I mean, we have one of the best coaches, not only in the county but in the state, and Coach Salty. And
our whole coaching program too.
Yeah.
We got multiple infield guys. Coach McGaw with the outfielders.
Coach Talpich, even with JV, you know, setting the standard early, just getting the guys right. And you know, they might be more talented in some areas, but I think we're more fundamentally based, and that fundamentals can take us a long way.
You got some dogs.
We do have some dogs.
Yeah.
Dalton Needle's a dog in the mound. he's a dog at the shortstop position. I don't think I saw a ball fly right by him when I saw him play.
All right, so let's talk about, like, we are very fundamentally sound. Our defense has been really good the past few games. Outfielders have been not letting anything. I mean, it's been no flies on the outfield. Infield's been attacking the ball. So take us through a practice. Take us through a daily routine in practice. Something that we do.
I've heard a lot about practices. I'm interested to hear this answer.
We'll get there. We'll hit in the cages for 30 minutes, and then most days, I mean, you can agree, I think we take an IO.
Oh, yeah.
Most days, and then it'll go into
individual stuff, too.
Yeah, individual work, infielders, working with infielders, outfielders with outfielders, and catchers with catchers. And then we hit for a little, and then we have to wrap up hitting, clean up the field, and then most days is some conditioning.
Yeah, when I saw you guys, none of you guys looked out of breath. Like, you guys all look so well conditioned. So, like, how do you get in such good shape and for baseball practice?
At Jupiter, we did not do a lot of conditioning, and now this is definitely. I know you coming from Jupiter Christian, it's been a change for you too.
Oh, that's definitely.
It's
Jupe boys.
Some Jupiter schools.
It's definitely been a change, but it's been good. I've definitely gotten in better shape throughout the season.
That'll take you far, man.
Yes, it will.
Conditioning is key in baseball.
All right, so back to Jupiter. How do you think our practice here and our culture is different than what you've had in the past at Jupiter High? I know Jupiter High's had a really big program over. I mean, they're very deep, very very rich program when it comes to awards. They've won state championships, but as of right now, how have you noticed differences and improvements that maybe we have that they don't have, or just some differences that you've noticed?
This is a tough question because I honestly feel like there's not a lot of differences. They might have a bigger program. There's way more kids at tryouts. I know at Jupiter there's 70 kids at tryouts, and I mean, it's different in the ways they approach the season, I guess. I mean, different schedules. I mean, private schools playing private schools, stuff like that. But the goal is the goal. The standard's the standard for both schools, and that states. And there's a lot of hard work that goes into both programs, and that's why both programs are very successful, is because they both work hard every day, and that's the bottom line.
You
go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, I would say talking about some Jupiter schools. We got April 9th. We got Dwyer. I mean, big team out of Jupiter. I know between Jupiter and Dwyer, those are the two
the battle
big
between
Jupiter schools.
military trail.
Exactly. So how are you? Are you excited for that game? I mean, I'm pretty excited. I got a lot of friends on that team, so I know you probably got a lot of friends on that team. I think it's going to be, what do you think about that game?
I'm excited. They have a really solid team. They're very senior heavy, and they're definitely
it's good for you next year.
Yeah, they're definitely state contenders though, and it's regular season, so why not play them?
Exactly.
It's definitely going to be good practice. They have Nick Ravitti, he's low 90s. Cody Morgan, he's low 90s. All these kids are going off to big D1 programs, and we're gonna play them. And
so is he.
Yeah, so is this guy.
No reason to be scared.
There's no reason to be scared. They have more talent, but just like I said, we're fundamentally sound, and I believe we can play with anyone.
Oh yeah, I mean we got T-Bar from the bump. He's been absolutely shoving for us lately. I mean, took a great St. Andrews team, another team that's got a lot of high-profile guys, but a guy like Tanner, crafty lefty. I mean, he went and shoved against. I mean, how has Tanner even been? Just
new commit.
Dyersburg State.
I mean, big time JUCO program. I mean, how has he been a staple point for our team?
Tanner's been great, man. I mean, two outings, and he shoved both times. I mean, what much more can you ask for? This kid, he works hard every day. He does what he has to do. He still takes BP, but he's not a hitter.
By any means.
And no, not a hitter by any means, but he knows his job is pitching, and he does it really well. And I'm proud of him. And I know he had a big year last year, from what I heard. And, I mean, he's following it up this year.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Walk us through, kind of taking it away from the more statistical side of things. If you could give yourself a nickname that you think would kind of pop out to other people, or a nickname that people may have given you when you were younger, or that's stuck, do you have any one nickname that's kind of stuck out to you?
Last year, the kids at Jupiter, they called me Carl, but the name that's always stood out to me is Chucks. I've been called it ever since I was little. I know. Nolan calls me Chuck sometimes. Tanner calls me Chucks. All these kids on the team call me Chucks. So it's come from New York, and people still call me it.
It's a very New York nickname.
You look like a Chuck. I mean, every single Chuck I've met has a beautiful personality.
I mean,
That's a good thing.
I would have guessed something a little more like fierce, like the House of Pain. But like,
No.
I feel like that's
House of Pain is too corny.
You're
Like
Chucks.
Chucks. I mean,
Chucks. Man.
yeah, like
One
yeah,
syllable,
like a
just
Chuck.
straight to the point. Chucks.
You could be old curly.
I'll be old curly.
Yeah.
And exactly. All right, but so one final question. I want to ask you.
Alright.
One final question.
No.
It's been a hot topic of the baseball community lately.
What is it?
If you could get one pitch to hit, right, game on the line.
Oh my goodness.
One pitch.
I want
game
Iguodala.
on the line.
No. Oh my God.
Fastball up and in, or you want a hanger like out over the plate. Which one are you
I'm an up and in kind of
drive into the end of the gap, game winner? Which one do you want?
I'm going to take the hanger.
Do you think you have the power to at least send it out of the park though, or do you want to just kind
Of course he does.
You kind of want to
Shout
just,
out, I mean,
Is
Cressy
this
Yeah.
like,
Sports.
but is this like
Cressy Sports Performance.
he needs to get hit all 3 bases, or he's got to there's like bases
Guy
are
on
loaded.
first, he's got to. I
Bases are
mean,
loaded.
Dalton Needle on first. Like, I mean,
Oh,
absolutely.
you got to hit it far then.
Exactly. Like guy
Okay,
driving
yeah.
Dalton.
Slow
is
guy.
like-
Not exactly.
So the
the most
fastball's up and in?
explosive.
Yeah, it's either up and in fastball, something that you got to turn on it, or a hanger out over the plate. You're gonna drive to left. I mean,
All right.
right center.
Walk through me. I don't play baseball. What's a hanger?
So a hanger is just like it's like a curveball that like doesn't curve as much. It's just kind of left out over the
So
plate.
it's just a slower fastball.
It's just a
Basically.
meat bar down the plate.
Oh, why would you not want that?
Because some guys like the up and in because it's already elevated for you. You can elevate it.
Yeah.
So
And
especially.
I mean,
you know,
I feel like the speed behind the ball could also help the acceleration of the bat and like send it farther.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright.
But I mean, big guy. He's been working on a Cressy Sports Performance in
15
the off
pounds of muscle in
season.
the off-season.
I mean, 15 pounds. No Joe Daly 26
That's
pounds. Of
26.
course,
That's unmatchable.
but yeah. So which one would you want and why?
I'd probably take the hanger, honestly. Something out over the plate where I can drive is probably a better option than up and in.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from me, up and in is not one of my favorites. I don't know if it's one of yours, but it's not something I can get the head
Not
out.
much of a hitter anyway.
Okay.
Lockdown defense. though.
Lockdown defense over here. But no, I would definitely take the hanger. I feel like it's definitely more of an opportunity for runs.
All right, so and let's actually talk about that. Like,
Right.
like I mentioned, your size, looking bigger.
Mhm.
Took the off season off of baseball to get in the weight room at Cressy Sports Performance with
Mhm.
Andrew Lisi, best strength coach in the game. Shout out Cressy.
Shout
Well,
out.
I wouldn't go that far. One of the best.
One of.
The baseball.
Oh, okay. Baseball.
Coach Evans, we got Coach
Evans is
Evans.
the best overall strength.
Overall,
Yeah.
we got our guys. Andrew,
Mhm.
baseball specific kind of guy. But to take us through that, how is getting in the weight room? How big is that for you?
Andrew was a big part.
Mhm.
I know he's been a big part for you.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But I've been working at Cressy for 3 years since I moved here in 8th
Mhm.
grade. I think I weighed 130 when I started there. Now I'm
Mhm.
180.
Now you're
So-
35. So
No, but I seriously gained a lot of weight there and a lot of
Mhm.
muscle, and it's helped a lot. And
Alright.
yeah,
So, Nolan, I have a question for you. So, like with the weight training and stuff, is that like, did he put you on a meal plan for that too? Is it like are you on a did he say right before a season you got to go on a bulk, or is it just
Oh.
kind of a personal choice?
Of course, no. I mean, like, I don't know what you're hinting at there, but yeah, no.
just stocky guy. Just
Most,
absolute
mo-
stud. I'm not gonna lie. If you connect on a ball, it's flying because like the absolute sheer size you have behind the bat, like it's not gonna. There's no way it's gonna stand.
I mean, most definitely. Of course, it's always really important, to be fueled before a game and before a
Mhm.
season. Going into a long spring season.
And all that.
I don't know about me, but I mean, speaking of me personally, I know I got someone that can lose some weight in the season.
Mhm. Definitely.
Long bus rides, you might not be able to eat and whatnot. So just for me, I know it's important for me to get some food
That's
in before
good.
the season.
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, talk
No,
about
yeah,
that.
and especially with all that conditioning we had mentioned earlier, I can
Exactly.
imagine that that'll be kind of like a cutting for you. So that's
Exactly.
good.
So, talk about your nutrition, how you, because I know for me it's like important for me to gain weight before a season, but
Mhm.
how's that for you?
And you eat a lot of healthy foods too. You eat like chicken and rice,
Oh,
broccoli.
yeah.
So
Yeah, for the season, I lose weight, definitely. I know a lot of people do. But so on the weekends, it's a lot of just eating, because the school day, you're playing, you got practice. But
school.
something that's different here at Kings is the lunch coming from Jupiter.
5-star.
The lunch at Jupiter was not very good.
5-star lunch.
And here it's basically as good as you can get for school lunch. So that's definitely helped in gaining weight.
That actually leads into a message from our sponsor, Sage Dining. Thank you very much
Thanks for sponsoring our
this
podcast.
episode of The Jungle.
But yeah, so I mean, for me that about wraps it up. You know, you answered all my questions, answered all my insight, our insight on the baseball season. But Ransom, you
I
have
learned a
anything
little
else
bit
you
more
wanna ask?
about baseball, so thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Nolan,
Thanks for having
Not
me.
too knowledgeable, but I'm excited to see you up those slugging numbers and maybe get a few more doubles.
Heck yeah.
Nolan, I can't wait to see you get some more defensive stops and maybe a hit or two here.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, Nolan, Chucks, thanks for
Chucks,
coming on.
thanks.
Thank you,
It was
guys.
a pleasure.
Curly, thanks for having me.
And we'll see you on the next episode of The Jungle.
Have a good
See
one.
ya.
I think we're done.